Yes. Ira Anachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Madhava Jaya Gopishana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Bhatta Naranjana Yashodanandana Bhatta Naranjana Munatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Raja Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Hari Hari Bol.
Jai Mr. Paramahamsa, Radhecha, Jastotra Satya, Sri Simadhi, Divine Grace, Shirabai Sharan Arvind, Bhaktivedanta Swami, Sri Prabhupada,
John.
Santa Koti Vaishnava,
John.
the founder of Prabhupada, Namasarya, Sri Haridas Thakur,
John.
Samavata Bhaktivinoda,
John.
Harinam Sankirtan ki, Bhagavatam ki, Gaur Dinanande,
Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
All that is the Sri Guru, Sri Gauranga, all that is Sri Prabhupada. Om Agyanatimirandasya
Nanshana Shalakaya Chakshurunmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Gadamayam Tarati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrachatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sachivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parichana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Yapta Kanchana Kurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sudeti Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu vacha Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha
Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayana Namaskritya
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Narottamam
Devim Sarasatim Vyasam
Devim Sarasatim Vyasam
Adojaya Mudiraye.
Adochaya Tudiraye.
Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Nara Narayana Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayasabhadreshu
Nastaeshu apatreshu
bhagavata sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
shloke
Bhagavatir Uttama-shloke
bhaktir bhavati naistiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed, practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama
Idam Bhagavatam Nama
Puranam
Puranam Brahmasamitam
Brahmasamitam Charitam
Uttama-shloke Charitam
Bhagavan Rishi
Chakara Bhagavan Rishi
Nistreya Sayalokasya
Rishayasaya Lokasya
Dhanyam Sasayanam Mahat.
Dhamnam Sasamadam Mahat.
This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, the Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Rama
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Surabhyai Namaha.
Om Surabhyai Namaha
Om Surabhyai Namaha.
Om Surabhyai Namaha
Om Surabhyai Namaha.
Om Surabhyai Namaha
Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatripatamaham vande Sri Vrindavanatharam yatripatamaham vande Sri Vrindavanatharam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome to our Bhagavatam class. We are reading the text that we have been referring to in the last few months quite extensively. From the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And as a matter of fact, when we arrived here yesterday evening, we just kind of like spontaneously, naturally talked about this verse indirectly. Actually, not so much indirectly, quite directly. When you were mentioning how people in the area here were previously, every house had cows, 3 cows, 5 cows, 10 cows, yeah, which is just like in India before. Yeah. Every single family had cows. That was the standard. And what we will read this morning is giving further insight as to what is meant to be, as what is actually the standard. From the Bhagavatam, we actually come to know what is the standard Vedic culture. And within that culture, what are the standard activities? What are the standard prescribed duties? 7th canto especially. You okay? Yeah. What are the Narada Muni explained in the 7th canto, the duties for mankind, ideal society, ideal family life. So this is an extremely important a verse and purport, which we've read a number of times, but I think the more we hear it, the more we can understand. And that is 10th canto, 11th chapter, text 37, like yesterday. So today we'll read the Sanskrit. 10, 11, 37. 37. Evam Rajokasam Pritim Yachantau Bala Chestitai Vakyai Sva Kalina Vasta Palau Babhuvatuhu Evam Rajaokasam
Pritim
Yachantau Balachestitai
Yachantu Padacheshtitai
Vakyai Sakalina
Kalavakyai Svakalina
Vasta Palau Babhuvatuhu
Vatsa Palau Babhuvatu
Evam Rajaokasam Pritim
Evam Vrachoka Sampritim
Yachantau Balachestitai
Yachantu Balacheshtitai
Kalavakyai Sakalina
Kalavakyai Svakalina
Palau Babhuvatuhu
Vatsa Palo Babhuvatuhu
Evam Rajaokasam Pritim
Evam Vrachauka Sampritim
Yachantau Balachestitai
Yachantu Balachestitai
Kalavakyai Sakalina
Vatsa Sakalina
Vatsa Palau Babhuvatuhu
Vatsa Palau Babhuvatu
Vatsa Palau Babhuvatuhu
Vatsa Palau Babhuvatuhu Evam
In this way
in this way
Rajaokasam
Vrachaokasam
to all the inhabitants of Braja
to all the inhabitants of Racha Pritim pleasure Yachanto giving Balachestitai
by the activities
and
the pastimes of childhood
Kalavakyai
and by very sweet broken language
Sakalina
in due course of time
Vatsapalau
to take care of the calves
Babhuvatuhu
were grown up. So not only because of the discussion, this one lady here was mentioning about how it was before, but Prabhu also was mentioning how your son is at Mother Farm, and he's 12 years old approximately, and he just likes it. He just loves it there, being with the cows and being in nature, etc., like that. So this verse is directly explaining this point here. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Well, let me read the translation. We read the translation, is it?
Not yet much.
Okay.
Just word by word.
Okay, so then everyone can repeat after me the translation. In this way, Krishna and Balaram, acting like small boys, and talking in half-broken language, gave transcendental pleasure to all the inhabitants of Braja. In due course of time, they became old enough
They became old enough
to take care
to take care
of the calves.
of the calves.
So forth. As soon as Krishna and Balaram were a little grown up, they were meant for taking care of the calves. There's a whole system that we have forgotten because we are not connected with the Vedic culture. But the system is that when boys reach the age of maybe 7 or 8, they are given the responsibility of the calves. And then on Gopastami, we read during Kartik, there's Gopastami. Gopastami is when Krishna is old enough that he starts to look after the big cows. So the small boys look after the calves. Then when they grow a little taller, bigger, then they're given the responsibility of the big cows. So then Prabhupada continues here in the purport. Although born of a very well-to-do family, they still had to take care of the calves. And then Prabhupada makes a statement here. This was the system of education. It's a very simple statement made by Srila Prabhupada, but sometimes some things are so simple that we cannot understand them. This simple statement, this was the system of education, means that actually this activity, this daily activity, daily means 7 days a week, 31 days every month, means all the time. Because then it becomes Nitya Lila. It is actually Nitya Lila because it is going on in the spiritual world all the time. So this activity of going out with the cows is an educational activity in terms of Vedic culture. There's a whole we cannot immediately understand this, but when young boys are allowed to be together and to do this particular activity of going out with the cows, means they are so many forests of Vrindavan, isn't it? They would go from one forest to another, and on the side of the forest there's grass for the cows. They would, and the Jamuna is going all over the place, so they would come and bring the cows for taking water, for drinking at different times. And when the cows are grazing, what are the boys doing? They're playing. Playing. Yeah. Yes, they're playing. And actually, Prabhupada mentions how young boys, they should not be given any academic education before the age of 7. After the age of 7, they should play. Maximum activities should be playing, because by playing, they interact with other boys and they learn so many things. You see, so this whole activity, again, in a natural atmosphere, means with nature. It means that the boys are very open, very free to express themselves, to interact with other boys. And in this way, they learn so many things. They invent so many games. Actually, all the games that Krishna and Balaram were playing, along with the cowherd boys, there's a book on this. It is called Krishna Krida. Krishna Krida. Krida means games. There's a book on games, authorized traditional games.
You read this book?
We have it. I don't have it with me, but we can get that book, and it should be translated in different languages also.
Very good.
Bharat Chandra Prabhu has translated from Sanskrit. Krishna Krida. The very so many games are there. His father's an artist, so he made different design also.
Hmm.
Yeah, very interesting book. There's so many books like this. That's part of the 64 arts and sciences.
Mhm.
You know, just like in India, every day in the morning, Matajis they make this what is called
Rangoli.
rangoli,
Mhm.
different design.
Rangoli.
Yeah, rangoli.
Flower.
They no use powder. They use for as you say they use for what is it rice powder.
Yes.
And then they add colors sometimes. They make wonderful designs. Sometimes very simple, sometimes very elaborate. Whenever there's some festival, they especially, but every day in the villages in India, every day because they clean with cow dung inside the house and outside the house, and then after cleaning with cow dung, then they put this very nice design like that. So this is all like art that one that in the Vedic culture, especially ladies, they would learn this art of making different designs. And so this statement is very important. That means that actually we we learn more easily when we are not pressured, when we are more in a natural, and when we have interest, and when we like to do something, we learn things more easily.
Mm.
So then Prabhupada continues to explain here that those who are not born in Brahmana families were not meant for academic education. So most of the boys in Vrindavan, they are not born from Brahmana families. Of course, Krishna Balaram, their father and mother, uh, Vasudeva and Devaki in Mathura, they're from Kshatriya family. So that's why when Krishna and Balaram left to go back, when they left Vrindavan and went to Mathura, then Vasudeva and Devaki, they sent them to Gurukul. Before that, Krishna and Balaram, they don't go to Gurukul. Their Gurukul was in Sandipani Muni, not in Vrindavan. Their education was in connection with the calf. This is the point here. The Brahmanas were trained in a literary academic education. The Kshatriyas were trained to take care of the state, and the Vaishyas learned how to cultivate the land and take care of the cows and calves. There was no need to waste time going to school to be falsely educated and later increase the numbers of the unemployed. This is what is taking place in modern day society. 8%, 9%, sometimes 12% of the population, although they may have so many degrees and certificates, there's no job. It's artificial. Uh, and what happens? An idle mind is a devil's workshop,
Mm.
right? When we don't have anything to do, then our mind goes crazy. So when many people are not employed, that means that many people, their mind goes crazy.
Yeah.
They have nothing to do. They just sit around and like that. Yeah, prajalpa. And Vedic culture, actually, there's no unemployment. No unemployment. So Krishna and Prabhupada concludes here. Krishna and Balaram taught us by their personal behavior. Krishna took care of the cows and played his flute, because playing this sound from flute, if someone knows how to play it nicely, And who plays the best flute? Who is the best flute player?
Krishna.
Krishna, of course. So, I mean, other boys play the flute, but nobody plays the flute like Krishna plays the flute. It is nicely described in Nectar Devotion. When Krishna plays his flute, everything in Vrindavan stops.
And satisfied.
All the cows, they become stunned. Their ears go like this, and they're like motionless. And the calves, they stop drinking the milk from the mothers. And even it mentions that the Jamuna stops to flow also.
Yeah.
The Jamuna flows, but when Krishna plays the flute, the Jamuna is also totally enwrapped, absorbed in that sound vibration. And actually, I've seen some documents that if you play some music, I've seen either the guitar or any nice sound. If some cows are far away, they will come.
Yeah.
You know that? The cows are very sensitive, extremely sensitive animal. And that's why actually they're like human. They're because their next life is human by the evolutionary process. Automatically, they take on human birth in next life. So uh, their nature is very human-like. They're very sociable. They like to be with other cows, and they're very friendly. They're very affectionate, and they like sound in the mode of goodness, transcendental sound. So, uh, so that's why. See, when from the very beginning, if young boys are with calves, what happens? They develop a very close relationship with the calves.
Mm.
And that relationship continues when the cows are grown up, so that the cows are very friendly, very peaceful. And when that is not there, then there's no relationship. So we go to a cow and, who are you? You just come to see me, once in a blue moon. But Vedic culture is every single day allowing this type of relationship to develop between, especially both the cowherd men. The cowherd men before they were small boys also, because that's the main activity, the main source of income, isn't it? Is both from cows and the land, because the land they also by grazing, by the cow dung that they leave on the ground, the cow urine, this makes the soil fertile. The soil in Vrindavan is extremely fertile when all of these cows are allowed to graze. And when the soil is fertile, then you can grow anything. It will grow very nicely, very easily. So Prabhupada concludes here that Krishna, he played his flute, and Balaram took care of agricultural activities with a plow in his hand. One devotee recently in Africa was asking me why Krishna carries a plow. Plow, yeah.
Balaram.
I mean, sorry, Balaram, yeah. Why Balaram carries a plow? Krishna carries a flute. The flute. Balaram carries a plow because he's in charge of agriculture. Yeah. But Balaram's plow is a wooden plow. So the soil actually only the surface of the soil. When the soil is very fertile, you don't need to turn it.
Very soft. Yeah.
It will be very soft.
Very soft.
Yeah. And you just little bit on the surface, then you put your seeds, and there you go. No big endeavor, no hardship like today. They're turning the soil, they're unnecessarily killing so many insects, and also by turning that soil, so many nutrients are lost actually. So there's a more simple and natural way to actually grow food, to do agriculture. Not like today they use all these heavy machines and they actually destroy the soil. The whole planet practically is destroyed by modern mechanization in terms of agriculture. Not only agriculture, the whole civilization, is polluting the soil and polluting the air, etc. So, although very short purport, this is very important. So that means that actually the ideal is that people live in this way. They have many cows, and the main activity is to look after the cows and to grow food. And in this way, the residents of Vrindavan, and that was the case in India also, even not so long ago. That was their main activity, and in this way, they became opulent. The residents of Vrindavan are very opulent. Yeah. So this is what we are actually endeavoring to do gradually, and the more people understand, then that can gradually be introduced. So, any quick question or comment on this? Yes.
Prabhupada once described a different kind of intelligence, like busy fool and this. You remember much?
Yeah. Active fool, passive fool.
Yeah, and he said the best is like passive intelligence, I think.
Yeah. Passive intelligence means that you have other people perform different activities. Intelligent is, one can do different things, but so that's especially the business of like brahmanas and kshatriyas. They give proper understanding, they give direction, and people they execute.
So my question is, you mentioned idle mind, idle brain is a devil's workshop.
Yeah.
And so the question is, then it's better to do something maybe sinful than not do something at all. Like you are like you're a butcher. You're a butcher. So maybe this is now your duty, your occupation, to be a butcher.
Yeah.
So you're doing your butcher activities and you're doing something, and someone is just sitting around the whole day and doing nothing. But you're doing you're earning money, maintaining your family as a butcher. So
But the problem is that the butcher is not a prescribed activity.
But it's also not in society someone needed to do these things.
No, human beings don't need meat.
Some kind of humans need meat, don't they?
There are guidelines, prescription. If somebody wants to eat meat, then only once in a month that person himself has to kill that goat, only goat,
Козу.
not cow.
Yeah.
Козу.
Even now in Nepal and Vedic tradition, they cannot is if you kill cow, it is minimum 8 years prisons. Even
Where?
now in Nepal.
In Nepal.
Yeah, and you can bring this as your animal, goat or chicken or something like that,
Right.
and give to Brahmana in Kali Mandir.
Yeah.
And you should see this Brahmana speak some mantras and they kill opposite to you.
Goat.
After goat or chicken or
Yeah.
something.
You saw,
like that.
yeah.
And you see this and he throws this blood and you see all people see but they won't eat meat, but after this time they will not eat minimum 2 weeks. It's very dangerous.
So better it's not a prescribed duty, so it's just actually sinful. Better he's doing nothing, and
No. It's not recommended to perform sinful activities. This example he's mentioning, which Prabhupada also explains, that traditionally to instruct people that it is not good to kill animals, people themselves have to be there to see the animal being killed, and it was only during the dark night, right? Once a month during the dark moon.
No,
Means Tamagun.
yes, Thomas.
Tamagun. And you have to whisper some mantra in the ear
Yeah.
that now I'm killing you, after you can kill me.
Yeah.
And no intelligent person will do this for a long time. So it is one should do one's prescribed duties according to what is in Shastra. People don't know what is Shastra.
So there are so many occupations today that are actually just sinful. So better, yeah.
Anyone who's not chanting Hare Krishna and doing devotional service is doing sinful activity. Yeah.
I'm thinking about my mother. She has now a restaurant, and the whole day on the restaurant, the main thing they are selling alcohol and meat.
Yeah, well, Prabhupada explains how every time somebody chews, every act of chewing is a sinful activity if one is not Krishna conscious. So that's why so much suffering is there. People are performing sinful activities and they're getting reaction. That's why we have wars everywhere. Yeah. So actually one devotee was telling me that he was asking Prabhupada. It was very interesting. He was asking Prabhupada, why is it that today in our society so many cows are being slaughtered? And you know what Prabhupada replied? He said, actually, because so many people in the past performed sinful activities by killing, and now they're being yes. Because previously, people who are in this body of cow, they were killing cows before. Now they're being killed.
Да. Раньше вони були гріховні, так, вони були гріховні.
Much thank you for your points. Just something adding to this. When today when someone is not working in society, it's looked very badly. And then I see from my parents' time, when someone is working, everything is good. Doesn't matter what he's doing. At least he's doing something. At least he's doing, and when he would do nothing the whole day and like smoking, ganja, that's very bad. But at least he is working. So, but when I see now, like my mother working the whole day very hard, keeping the restaurant, so it would be better for her to do nothing because she's the whole day accumulating sinful activities. A lot of sinful activities because she's providing like many people with meat, and so better she would do nothing, or
No, better she do the right thing.
Yeah, but it's from here to come to Christian consciousness is very hard. So maybe one step further is like.
Nothing. No, I mean, that's why everyone should seek out the good association of the devotees to start learning what positive, what good things they should be doing.
Mm.
So it is not a good reason that instead of doing nothing, we should perform sinful activities.
Then just one question: if some people in previous life was really sinful,
Yeah.
and now they have a cow body,
Yeah.
and now they're killing.
Yes.
It means we don't protect them. We protect cow.
No. Our duty is to protect them. Because not all the cows
Sinful
are sinful. Yeah.
men in previous life.
Yeah. We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know. But Prabhupada is just mentioning, but because so many cows today, that many because of previous sinful activities.
But if we have own cow and we have some cows, this is cows. I think because they was born under the devotee protection, they not like they haven't sinful activity previous life maybe.
Maybe we don't know.
Maybe.
We don't know.
I don't know.
We don't know. Yeah. So we don't know. So,
But I saw and see every day when we have own cow,
right.
they are more peaceful than if we take cow from slaughterhouse. More peaceful. Our own cow, own cow,
yes,
more peaceful than cow from we protect it from slaughterhouse.
Yes, because cows that we care for, cows are very sensitive.
Yeah.
So they know that we are caring for them.
Yeah.
But other cows who don't have this protection, naturally they will be very fearful and they will not be friendly. So many things like that. Yeah.
Sometimes they fight in this cow.
Yeah. Yes.
We know that a cow is the form before man form.
Yes.
And if a cow is killed, has it opportunity to become the man?
Yes.
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 Okay. And one question more. We know that Krishna became studying in Mathura, yes, after Vrindavan.
Krishna, he went to Mathura, but he went to study some other place.
Sandipani movement, yes. And you said that it was a very good activity. When he was small boy, and he was a cowboy, and so on. But all boys in this age were with Krishna and Balarama. And what about our children in this young age?
Yes.
Does they need some какого-то проводника, когда они маленькие, еще не...
Ну, тогда был Кришна Баларам, а сейчас
що? А зараз от наші діти, які ще не в школі, з ким їм бути, щоб цю for their social activity they can play with only with this with children, but or they need something
Guidance.
Yeah.
Well, idea that we should not be sending our children to what we call factory education. Modern day education is factory education.
Mm.
The education, if one is not Brahmana, they should study academic. They should study astrology. They should study Vastu Shastra. They should study so many topics. Ayurveda, Sanskrit, language,
Biology.
philosophy. These are the different subjects in Gurukula. But for the Brahmana, those are not, and majority of children, they are not Brahmana. Majority of children, they are either, actually they will be Vaishya and Shudra. Majority of children. So Vedic culture, the system of economy we know is cows and land. So then they should be engaged in either learning some skill. It's like some devotees in Bali, they make very nice, they're very good artists. They make Garuda, like Kishora. Yeah. And everyone in this village, they're making Garuda. They start from when they're small boys. They learn how to make Garuda just by helping their father like this. Like son of a carpenter becomes carpenter. So, but majority of when Vedic culture is in place, that means that main activity is growing food, having land, and cows, and many cows.
Yeah.
That's the main activity. So that means that this is when you have many cows, you need many people.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So the majority of people.
This is a problem. We haven't enough people. Or we haven't enough people now for care about cows.
Yes.
This is a big problem.
Yes, because this is a bad system directing people to city and to machines and so many Maya. So to reintroduce a culture, it requires a change of gradual change of consciousness by Brahmanas. Brahmanas are the ones who are meant to explain that to perform these modern activities with now they are coming to understand, like children, because they're playing with these things and their cell phone, everything. Now young boys and young girls also get wearing glasses when they're very young.
Yeah.
This was not like that before.
And have problem with the body.
So many problems. Yeah, they cannot grow properly.
Body and mind also.
Yeah,
becomes
when they relate too much to machine, they cannot play in a natural way with other children.
Yeah.
That's why playing, being in the open in nature, that is the best way for.
When they play display the extrovert.
Yes.
By they
Yeah.
introvert and close
Yes.
mind.
There are now more and more studies. They are understanding how this is very detrimental, very bad for even for the natural growth of the body, and also for
Intellect.
intelligence, and also emotion, how to interact. They cannot have a proper relationship with other people. So it is a very properly selling. Modern civilization is a killing civilization, killing our ability to interact with others, to grow properly, etc. like that. So, so the more our devotees understand it, then slowly, gradually, naturally, this can be introduced.
Okay.
Just like, excuse me, yesterday we were discussing, like in Ukraine and in other countries also, where before people are living in village, so you can still find some villages where, because now more and more people leaving village going to city. That means that there's many villages where there's less people, and where, just like this area here, one can buy land, not so expensive. One can buy a house, and maybe old house, then you can repair the house slowly, gradually. And if devotees have this good understanding, after some time you can have like 20 families here, or 50 families. We have 40 families in our village in Indonesia, but that was started from scratch. In Czech Republic, they have one community where they have 15 families maybe in part of a village, and the family, I mean the village we were in yesterday before coming here, there's only 100 people, and the mayor is a devotee. You know, so same thing also in the Krishna Valley. He's going today to Budapest. So Krishna Valley, where we have our community, they're part of a larger village, and because many devotees are living in that village, so out of 4 people on the local village council, I think 2 of them are devotees, or maybe 3. So that's a very good way, finding some places where I think our devotees did that. When I came a few years ago, one devotee was telling, some old houses there in some village, like practically abandoned village. Devotees should look for abandoned village, or villages where there's less people, and it's like people are ready to sell because they have no interest, and this is something that devotees, they should very seriously discuss and make some plan like that. Yeah. Just imagine if you have 5 families who go to a place where there's like villages are becoming abandoned and more. So devotees should revive the villages by going there, by learning the skills slowly, gradually. Yeah. Okay, you can do that in Switzerland. So I think we have to end for now. Jai Grantaraj Bhagavatam Ki.
Jai.
Jai. Let me take one picture before everyone disappears.
His Holiness Bhakti Raghava Swami Ki.
Jai. Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki.
Jai.
Hari
Hari Bol.
Excellent. See, everything is there in the Bhagavatam.